Guys, these companies think that we need them or something. No, 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 no. I'm not entirely up in the news of modern gaming, but you can't help but hear about the ridiculousness going on with modern console pricing. News of the Xbox increasing prices on a system that's already almost 5 years old. That's right, the console entering the last legs of its life cycle, most likely, just went up. The Series X is going to be $599 as opposed to the previous $499. And also the announcement that game prices are going to start going to $80 plus is kind of ridiculous. And I get it, inflation and tariffs and all that jazz. But the game prices still need to reflect the worth of the game, and I think that's why we're hearing so much backlash right now. A lot of players just feel like a large amount of modern games just haven't been worth their money, or more importantly, their time. First thing that comes to mind for me in this instance is the barrier to entry to a new franchise or one that a player personally hasn't experienced yet. Honestly, I don't even like paying $70 for these games today because I feel like I'm rarely satisfied. Most modern games suck ass, frankly. You know, occasionally an Elden Ring or an Astrobot comes along. I'm not trying to knock the good ones because there are some, but few and far between does that occurrence happen. And on top of that, we have smaller developers releasing games that feel better and are lower priced, like Expedition 33, for example. I haven't played it yet. Things that I've seen, it looks really good, and people seem quite satisfied with the release, some even calling for it to win Game of the Year. I think this has led to a small little divide, if you will, in the gaming community, where some people are actually finally starting to say no to this modern way, but for the reasons I mentioned, and because I also think people are just starting to turn to their backlogs, that's right. Finally understanding that you don't need to consume, and play the latest game because it's new and the hot thing to do. I mean, that's the goal of a lot of these companies, is relying on things like FOMO through things like battle passes and timed events and things of that nature. But I think players are finally starting to understand that, they need us and like we don't really need them anymore. So this video is basically just to say, if you are one of those who doesn't like where modern gaming is going, just say no. Don't buy the new crap. People not buying is the only way change will ever happen. It always comes down to money. And basically, gaming has been going on long enough now that most people have immense backlogs, or they have old consoles in their closets that can be dusted off. And I'm not saying people will go all the way back to like the PS1 or start playing Game Boy games like me, but a lot of people have plenty enough PS2, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, GameCube, or other games that they can turn to and not feel like a company's trying to get one up on them. It's also worth noting that even if you don't have one of those consoles, they're far cheaper than the modern ones, and I'm biased, but I think they're a lot better. Thousands of hours of fun await you. For example, with me, the PS2 has over 4,300 games on it, so I decided to go searching for some hidden gems that I personally never heard of, even though I also never played a lot of the well-known greats, but there's so many that look interesting, it's hard to even find a place to begin. But that being said, I did decide to pick some up, and I should note that all that I've went and got so far have been under $30, complete in box, with the exception, not in this video, but a Champion's Call to Arms. That was like 50, so still less than modern games. And you can get them cheaper, if that's not a sticking point for you, if you just want the disc or disc in a different case or no booklet, you know what I mean. So I have 4 games that looked cool to me that I never really heard of, and I'm going to be trying them out. A platformer, an open world RPG, kind of a run and gunner, and an ARPG to show. Maybe you heard of them, maybe not. First, we have Scalar, which was released in 2004 for the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. It was developed by Artificial Mind and Movement. It's a platformer where you gain unique mutant lizard abilities as you go through the world playing as a lizard. And after spending a little time with it, I really like the colorful world. It's fun to blow up these little plants. The vine riding is really cool, and I like how it pans around, letting you take the environment in. It just seems like it's going to be a fun platformer that doesn't take itself too seriously, and just a nice, relaxing, fun time. We'll see how it goes. Next game is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. It's an ARPG that I heard was similar to the ARPG already reviewed on the channel, Champions of Norrath, and which makes sense, I guess, because it has the same developer, Snowblind Studios. It was released in 2001, and I actually think this looks pretty damn good for a game coming out 24 years ago. It feels really good, and the combat doesn't seem like it will be too complex, just like Champions was kind of simple and just a more relaxing ARPG overall. And it also seems like you're going to get a good amount of cutscenes going through for some heavy story as you go. I think if you played the Champion series, you'll know exactly what this game feels like. I mean, even the way these barrels break and the potions fall out is similar. The FPS game I picked up is Red Faction, developed by Volition in 2001 for the PS2 and Windows. This one piqued my interest because I heard it's the first game that had destructible environments that allowed players to interact with the items and terrain in the levels in an unprompted type of way, so not limited to scripted areas in the game design. You play on Mars as a miner named Parker, who basically, it seems, on a little bit of gameplay, is pissed off and leads a rebellion against the Ultor Corporation. The weapon aiming has like sticky mechanics on the PS2, which makes it nice. I was a little concerned with aiming in such an old game, but that really makes it feel quite a bit better, and it's good for someone who sucks at games like me. I'm excited to get to this one and give it a review, honestly. And then the RPG that I found and I read was like Skyrim for the PS2. So, I mean, that sounds like worth checking out alone, is Draken: The Ancient Gates. It was released in 2002 and developed by Surreal Software for the PS2. It's a sequel to Draken: Order of the Flame for Windows in 1999, and after firing the game up, it feels okay. It's a third-person perspective, and it does have a lock-on mechanic to make it easier, which, like I said, for someone like me, is very good. The one thing that I noticed is that the environment kind of seems empty. Hopefully that doesn't make it feel like it doesn't stand the test of time, but, you know, we need to remember it was in 2002 when this thing came out, and the world does seem large. Hopefully it turns out to have a decent story, and I mean, there's dragons involved, so that's a good start. That wraps it up, boys. Just a quick reminder that there are thousands of games in the past from the 2000s era that are calling your name, and if you want to see more on the games I went over, make sure you're looking when the full reviews drop in the future. Take care and peace.